All right, guys, this is your final notes. Act 5 notes. We are doing Act 5 scenes, I think 2, 3, and 4. Let me see here. 2, 3, and 4. Yeah, okay. So let's get started. We start, I think, at Dunsinane. Let me see. Okay, outside of Dunsinane, outside of the castle, a group of Scottish lords are discussing the military situation they have going on here. Okay, so we have the British or English army approaches, led by Malcolm, and the Scottish army will meet them near Burnham Wood. Okay, I'll just hit that one. Okay, so they're going to join forces all together. So we have Malcolm, Macduff, Lennox. They are all joining forces together, and their numbers are massive, much larger than the army that Macbeth can produce. So, speaking of Macbeth, the tyrant, as Lennox and the other lords call Macbeth, has fortified the castle. He has put up max security, and he is beginning to make his military preparations, but he's doing it in a mad rage. And this gets Lennox and Malcolm and Macduff talking, and they are not convinced that that Macbeth's soldiers will back him because of how mad of a rage he's putting all of this together in. They're like, your soldiers are only fighting for you because you're ordering them to. Like, none of them have heart in this fight. So, like, if they get the chance to leave you or to switch sides, they're going to. Okay. So, that is Act 5, Scene 2, just about all these military preparations coming into play. There's going to be some more of that too here coming up. So, Act 5, Scene 3, we have Macbeth himself. He is striding into the hall of Dunsinane with doctors and his attendants. And when we see him, he is boasting proudly that he has nothing to fear from the English army or from whatever Malcolm can conjure up. Okay, he says this because of the prophecies that the witches have put into his head. Since none of woman born can harm him. That came from Act 4, Scene 1, line 96. So bringing it back to that point. And another one, since he will rule securely till Burnham Wood, that should be an M, Burnham Wood, removed to Dunsinane. Okay, so that was Act 5, Scene 3, line 2. So he's thinking of these things, and he's like, you know what? No one can touch me because these witches told me no one of woman born can harm me. And till Burnham Wood, removed to Dunsinane, whatever the heck that means. But I know a forest can't move, so I'm in the clear, is what he's thinking. Okay, so he calls to his servant, whose name is Seaton, and he is Seaton is confirming to him that there is an army of 10,000 Englishmen approaching the castle. So, in this whole conversation, it's really tricky. Macbeth kind of goes into this, he like a very depressed version of himself. He's reflecting on all of these things that he thought he would have at his older age. He thought he'd have honor. He thought he'd have friends. Thought he'd have a well-off family to give all of these, monarch values to, or to pass down to, but he doesn't. So in this conversation, Seaton is kind of warning him, like, hey, there is an army of 10,000 Englishmen approaching the castle. And Macbeth, he knows that the fight isn't far. It's some time away, but he is insisting on putting some armor on anyway. Okay. Then later on in this scene, the doctor tells Macbeth that Lady Macbeth is kept from rest because of these thick coming fancies. Okay, basically, she has gone mad. She is saying things that don't make sense, and Macbeth orders the doctor to cure her of her delusions, quote unquote. This is from Act 5, Scene 3, line 40. And the doctor is like, I cannot. Only she can cure herself of this. And Macbeth loses all his faith in medicine. So, yeah. We have the doctor later on. We don't see it here, but the doctor later on leaves Dunsinane basically as quickly as he can because he sees everything that's coming up. Okay, but we still have this thing like, who is even going to harm Macbeth? Is it even possible? So, Act 5, Scene 4 comes around. So, we are in the country near Burnham Wood, and Malcolm is talking with another English lord whose name is Seward and his officers about Macbeth's plan to defend the fortified castle of Dunsinane. So they decide, in order to do this, that each soldier should cut down a bough of the forest, and they're going to carry it in front of themselves as they march to the castle. So this is Burnham Wood removing itself to Dunsinane. Okay, so they are not only moving the wood as the witches said would happen, but they are also disguising their numbers by doing this. So, like, Macbeth is thinking there aren't as many as there truly are. It's just bad. It's bad from here for Macbeth. Okay. Yeah, there's Act 5, Scene 4. Let's see what comes up. Okay.